For this video I've got coming up, I probably should have worded the start a bit different, as I've worded it clients we hate, but it's more client behavior we hate, and it tends to be associated. This behavior is more ingrained in some certain nationalities, which is where these nationalities get more stereotyped, and because of their behavior, not because of where they're from. Welcome to Clients We Hate, or Want to Be Clients That We Hate. I'm Gemma Lane and I work in the SW industry in Victoria in Australia, where the work is legal. Well, decriminalised now, decrimmed. That's another story. This one is talking about clients, or want to be clients, that we all hate. Now, unfortunately, for some nationalities, there tends to be a couple of nationalities that this behaviour is more prominent, that we receive this behaviour from. But I have also received similar behaviour from Aussie men, Caucasian men, men of different nationalities, but Indian, Pakistani, yep, you guys are the worst at it. Sometimes Sri Lankan. Sri Lankan's sort of in between. And it's the only time I actually ask Asian nationality, pretty much, when I'm starting to get the vibe that it's someone doing this. I'm like, what's your age and what's your nationality? Because if they're young, if they're in their 20s, I'm hoping that I can educate them so they learn not to do what they're doing. And if they're like sometimes 40 or 50-year-old Aussie men, I was like, well, they're screwed. They're just never going to get it. So what do these guys do? They want to haggle. They want it cheap. They want to turn up with $50 and get a like $500 service. And again, it's not just Indian or Pakistani. I've had white guys do it. I had a cop do it, attempt to do it. But and I see all nationalities. I don't rule people out because of a nationality, but I have seen some ads where they just blanket say no brown people, no people from India, no people from, and I don't do that. Some of my favorite people and some of my best clients, are Indian and Sri Lankan, and I've got a lot of friends that are Sri Lankan and multicultural. So yeah, it's not the nationality that's really the problem, it's the behavior. And it's very, very deeply ingrained in Indian culture, I think, to haggle. They want to haggle with everything, because it doesn't matter what business owner you encounter, they're all like, freaking Indians, they want everything at the cheapest price, but then they want the best service. And unfortunately, the ways they try and undercut the service, the price they want is just way too low to offer a good service in return. So SW, it doesn't matter what your culture is, SW is not the industry to haggle with. It's our first indicator on how respectful you are as a person. And if you're haggling pricing, where you're already going into the category of someone that's not safe, that we're not safe to be in a room with, because you're already trying to negotiate our prices and things like that. And as I mentioned, often these guys want to pay $50 and they want a great service on top of that. It's not like they're offering $50, and which would still probably get most of them blocked anyway, but it's not like they're happy to have a lesser service for a lesser price. They want to pay little money at all, but still want an amazing job. And it can also be a smell thing, because some guys, the spices and that can be a bit strong for non-Indian people, for Caucasians and stuff like that. So that can be a factor as well. So, and that's not something you can wash off your body necessarily. Sometimes it's just there. And again, to offer an extra good service in that situation, you need the money there to do it. And I've given clients, some of them I've like had Pakistani don't know if he was Pakistani. I've got him saved in my thing, but Persian. One of them was Persian, and he kept doing it. I kept telling him, no discount, like no discount, like I don't do it. If you ask me again for a discount, I'm going to block you. Because sometimes I've said no discount, no discount, I won't do it, and then they will pay the price they're supposed to be paying, which those prices were still pretty cheap at the time because I was just getting the last minute. It wasn't even overly expensive. But again, they'd be like $50. I've only got $50, and then I'd be like, I've warned you several times. Now I don't often warn people. I just block them back to block. And it's usually the guys that have the least chance with Western women. They're still very much ingrained in their culture of origin, and they've got the least chance of getting a Western woman in a real life, and they haggle the worst. So decent guys from different nationalities, talk to your friends, tell them not to haggle with SWs, and it'll go a long way for all of you getting more access to more opportunities. And this has been a ramble. How much have I kept on point? I don't know. Once again, I'm happy to see all nationalities. Just make sure you don't haggle, because even if it's an Aussie, quite often there's been Aussies that have haggled and they get the same shittiness reaction from workers, unless you just end up in the block pile. So yeah,